Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jonathan Pollard of Pollard Financial Coaching and Gen Y Financial Freedom, coming to you on Wednesday, October 29th, 2014. And today, what I'd like to talk to you about in this video tip of the day is the power of dividends. Now, in my last video, I spoke about how one should not be too risk averse, particularly if he or she is in his 20s or 30s in terms of investing for retirement. But one of the tools, aside from time, that an investor has is the ability to invest in stocks that pay dividends. Now, I'm going to be using not a whole lot, but some technical jargon in this video. So let me just briefly explain a few terms. And excuse me if some of the terminology is too basic. I just want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm saying. So what is a stock? First of all, before we get into dividends, a stock is merely a piece of a corporation. It's ownership in a corporation. You own a portion of the company. And when a stock has excess cash flows, it can do one of two things. It can either continue to reinvest those earnings and those excess cash flows back into the company, or it can pay out a portion of those excess cash flows to shareholders. Usually companies that grow really fast do not pay dividends. They oftentimes reinvest that money back into the company so it can grow even faster. But more stable companies, larger companies such as Microsoft or Lockheed Martin or Pepsi, for instance, those companies, they are not experiencing the rapid growth of a company like Apple around maybe 2005 or Google around 2005 or 2004. So those companies that I mentioned, Pepsi, Lockheed Martin, and Microsoft, for instance, they pay dividends. Now, dividend yields can vary. And what is a dividend yield? Let's say a company has a stock and its stock is priced at $100. Let's say its dividend is $2, right? That means that company or that stock has a dividend yield of 2%. 2 over 100 is 2%. Now, this dividend that's paid out is paid out over 4 quarters. So if you owned exactly one share of a stock that was $100 and it paid a $2 dividend, every 3 months you would see an extra 50 cents in your investment account. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but if you have 100 of those $100 shares, so for a total of $10,000, your total dividend payment would be $200 a year. And why is this important? Well, over the long term, since 1926, dividends have accounted for approximately 90% of the market's return. And so that means that you're just the majority of your returns in the stock market come from not necessarily capital appreciation, not necessarily from the stock price going up, but from the company returning excess cash flows to shareholders. Now, there are companies that have really sky-high dividends, and that can actually be a bad sign. A dividend that's 7, 8, 9, 10%, that can actually be a bad sign because it means that the company's stock price is so low that the dividend that it pays out is particularly high in relation to the stock price, and sometimes that might not be sustainable. And also, when you're considering whether or not to invest in a stock that pays a dividend, you want to make sure that, one, the company has been paying that dividend for an extended period of time, and two, that the company can afford to cover that dividend, right? You don't want a company that sports, a 3 or 4% dividend, which is good, but it can't afford to pay it. Now, why do I mention this as an investing tool? Well, for people in their 40s and 50s, looking to retire, they want an income stream, and dividends provide an income stream to you. No matter what the stock price does, that every quarter or every 3 months, you will be getting a certain amount of money from this particular company, and it varies year to year. Companies can change their dividend, but the best ones increase their dividends or year over year or every year. With regard to younger investors, particularly if you invest in dividend-paying stocks in a Roth IRA, you're not paying taxes on those dividends that you're receiving, and you're creating a second income stream for yourself. You're not just looking for capital appreciation or rise in stock prices. You're looking to receive an income stream, and that can actually allow you to retire earlier if you start investing in dividends early. So dividend-paying stocks can be useful for both young investors and older investors. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video tip, and stay tuned. Thank you.